Hi guys! So today is Halloween, so Gayeng and I decided to do a pro and cons video for you of our Vegas trip. We did do one originally, but apparently YouTube doesn't like it when there's music blasting in the background, something about copyright. So guess we're back in Arizona doing this take number 2. So we're gonna go over the pros first and then the cons, I guess.
Yep.
So one of the things that we noticed that we really like that's different usually from how our Vegas trips are is the online check-in process. So usually when you go to Vegas, everybody knows when it's time to check in. There's always like the long line that everybody's standing in. It's wrapped around, roped off. You're all every whole bunch of people standing there, luggage all over the place, packed together. Not this time around. So this time around, they send you kind of like this, I guess, email, if you will, to allow you to check in online. So when you get there, you don't have to stand in line for anything. So, do you want to talk more about that?
Sure. So the email basically just asks you to put in your name, it asks you what time you think you'll get to the hotel so they can have your keys ready for you. Of course, there's some parts of it where they try to upsell you and ask if you want to upgrade your room. And then the nice thing is it also asks you if you want to have your room cleaned every day. So if you say no, then during your entire stay, no one will clean your room. So that's nice in a sense if you want to decrease kind of an outside exposure coming into your room. So that was really nice because by the time we got there, all we had to do was give them our ID and the credit card that we used to book the room, and then they were able to hand us our keys within like a couple minutes.
Yeah.
And then they also did a temperature screen there with like a freestanding infrared type of measurement where it's no touch either. So you just stand there. It kind of takes this picture of your face and then it just measures your temperature and makes sure you're good to go. It was really easy and painless check-in process.
Yeah, we liked it a lot. Um, One of the other things that we noticed walking around the casino was that there were a lot of sanitizing stations. So you might have seen it in some of our other videos when you walk into the casino or like the Italy or food court area. You have a station where you, and even in some of the shopping places too, you have the station where it's the mask, but it's not like one where you get like a box and then it just, you just pull them out as like a, what is it, like one of those dispense boxes. Each mask is individually wrapped. So when you take one, the one behind it is sealed in its own plastic. So there's no contamination. Just because you take the one in front, the one behind isn't getting touched by the other person. So we thought that was pretty cool. Hand sanitizer was everywhere. They had the contact list where you put your hand underneath it. It was the same thing for when you were walking around the stores. The stores that you go into, they would take your temperature. They would always have you do the hand sanitizer before you touch anything, before you look at anything. Some of the stores were even roped off, so they only allowed a certain capacity into the store. So it made it easier for them to do the social distancing. Um, on the casino floor, we noticed that they also had hand washing stations. So they had like these little sinks and they had the paper towels, they had soap for people. So we thought that was really, really cool. Yang and I, we didn't really gamble, but when we were walking around on the casino floor, we did notice that when we were looking at the slot machines, they had every other machine available for play. So some casinos actually turned off the machine completely. So if you had a row of, say, like 3 slot machines, you had the 2 end ones that were available for play, and the one in the middle would be shut off completely. So there's no lights, no nothing. It's not turned on. Other casinos, they just did 2 on the outside, and then the one in the middle. It's still on, but it says that the game is out of order. So every casino did it a little bit differently. And when you're walking around the center part of the hotels, they usually have the table games. And table games are positioned right next to each other. But what the casino did is that, and we noticed this in almost all the casinos that we walked into, was that every other table was available for play. So they used to have like a 3-card poker, and then the table next to it is also 3-card poker. The table next to that is also 3-card poker. So what they would do is they'd have 2 tables available, and the one in the middle would just be empty. Now the 2 tables on the side that are available for play, instead of having, say, like 6 players, which is the typical count, they only had 3 available seats. So you didn't sit 6 people to a table. You sat like 3 people to a table. And in between the chairs, they had the plexiglass. So yes, you are playing less people to a table, but at least you're social distancing. So we thought that was really cool. One of the other things that we did really like was the social distancing in the restaurants, since that's mainly all of our videos is just going around to eat food, is that the restaurants would either have you sit kind of every other table. Some restaurants that are a little bit smaller, that was a little bit harder to social distance, they would actually put plexiglass in between the individual tables so that there was some sort of way to block you from the table next to you. So we thought that was really cool. You would see people the moment customers are done eating, they would be over at that table, busting the table where they are busting. They're doing something to the table, and they're cleaning it.
They're cleaning the table.
They're cleaning the table, and they're cleaning the chairs. They're spraying it down before they let somebody else come and sit. So we thought that was really neat. The next thing we thought was really nice was the service. Because usually Vegas is so packed, you kind of have to wait a little bit in between your orders, in between trying to get a server. But one of the really nice things that we really enjoyed about this trip was because there wasn't so many people there, we would get maybe 1 server to 4 tables versus 1 server that had to deal with 8 tables. So they were very attentive to our needs. They made sure that we got everything we needed. So we really enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah. I think those are the main pros that we really enjoyed at Vegas, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Because I think the last thing that we thought was really nice in terms of social distancing was our flight on Southwest. And we intentionally flew Southwest because we knew that they were still trying to social distance with keeping middle seats open. I know them and Delta are the only domestic flights right now that are keeping the middle seats open. Not sponsored, by the way.
We are not above it if you want to sponsor.
Yeah. So compared to say American Airlines is a full flight now. So the Southwest was really nice. So every middle seat was empty. They still boarded by, A through 60. So in the past, when you board Southwest, they board 30 people at a time. So it'd be A1 through 30. And then after that, it would be A31 to 60. But for now, it's like A1 to 10. 5 minutes later, A11 to 20. 5 minutes later, or a couple minutes later, however many people. So they're only doing 10 people at a time instead of 30 people at a time. So that's nice. And they're keeping the middle seats open, which is also nice. So as long as you're flying as a group, as in a group of 3, they'll give you that middle seat. You just have to let them know. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they expect every middle seat to be open.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, we really like that. One thing I did notice though is when the plane would land, everybody kind of reverted back into the old mentality and they all just stood up. So then everybody was kind of in the aisle. So Kayeng and I, we just sat down and waited until it was our turn. We tried not to stand up in the aisle, but I guess some old habits are hard to kick, especially in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, and then they offer limited service, meaning instead of, how they usually give you sodas, they just hand out water and snacks like a pretzel, which I think is nice. But for us, we passed on that, like we mentioned in the first couple videos, just because we didn't want to take off our masks on the flight and have to chug our water or eat our snacks super quickly and then put the mask back on. During the entire flight or anywhere that we were in close quarters with people where social distancing wasn't possible, we made sure that we always kept our N95 on.
Yeah, and we wore a surgical mask over it too, just to double up, just to be on the safe side.
Yeah.
So that's for the pros. What would you say some of the cons were, Gayeng?
I would say the first thing that comes to mind is the whole smoking issue. Not that it's really an issue in the past because smoking has always been a thing in casinos, but I'm personally just surprised that they're still allowed to smoke because you obviously have to take off your mask to do that in the casino. But also, there's a lot of people smoking weed in the casino as well.
Oh, yeah.
Marijuana is legal in Nevada, so I'm not surprised that they're smoking marijuana in the casino, but it's just if you're not used to the smell of marijuana, it's a very strong scent when you walk past a group of people who are smoking, and that whiff just kind of just blows you off your feet when you're not used to it.
Yeah, it's definitely that reefer madness for all you older people that know that reference. Apparently I said, oh, that reefer madness. And Gayeng's like, what's that? I'm like, Mary Jane? Question mark. And she's like, I think I might have heard of that.
I definitely understand Mary Jane.
I know. I guess reefer madness makes me old. I have no idea. I asked a patient today, some 20-year-old, do you know what a floppy disk is?
Yeah, floppy disk 20-year-old means that they were born in 2000. So 2000 was starting the USB era already. Back in the day, when Black Friday was a thing, people stand in line super early to pay $30 for a 1 gigabyte USB. Now it's like $10 for 256.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And then you're like, gosh, that's so expensive.
Yeah.
Wow, I guess I'm getting old. So yeah, the smell of marijuana was actually very, very noticeable in the hotels as well as on the strip. That's why Gayeng and I, we didn't really eat outside. We always chose to eat indoors, even though some of the so say for example Mon Ami, it gives you the option to sit outside and eat, but we didn't want to, just because when you sit outside, yes, you get to enjoy the weather and watch people watch, but that whiff of marijuana that just hits you every single time somebody walks by smoking it, it was too much for us, and we really don't like that smell. One of the other things about the food situation in Las Vegas that we were kind of not too happy with was a lot of the places that we usually like to eat at, they had very limited hours, or they're only open on certain days. Some of them were just closed altogether. So it was really difficult to figure out when to go eat something, when not to go eat something because it wasn't available or open. So for example, one of our favorite places to go eat is a dessert place called Sweets Raku. It's fantastic. We love it. Sponsor us. But when you call on their system, they have an automated system that plays and says, hey, thank you for calling. We are open, blah, 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 certain days. You need to call and make a reservation to, come in to eat, or else we are not able to accommodate you. And so I would be, listening for the beep that never came, and then the message would turn off. So I was like, well, maybe it's just because of that day. So Gayeng and I, we would go on Yelp and we would look it up, and it says, yay, it's open at this time. This is the phone number you call, and we look it up and they're not open. And then we go on Google Maps, which is a little bit more accurate, and we do the same thing and they're not available. It's because the hours and days are constantly changing, so it's hard to figure out what's open and what's not. And we don't want to take a Uber all the way to Spring Mountain to get dessert, only to have to take the Uber back, finding out that they were closed. So that was kind of tough. So we were very limited to the options that we wanted to eat while we were there.
And we did our research before we left too, so we made sure a lot of places that we wanted to go to were open, and they were open. They just weren't open on the days that we were there. So for example, we wanted to go to Wicked Spoon, which is the only buffet open on the strip. but they were only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sundays, which means the 3 days that we were there, they were closed. Or we wanted to go get dim sum at a pretty highly rated place that we found online, but they were only open for delivery and takeout, and they were off the strip. So it was just a little inconvenient for us to do that. And then like Sweets Raku that we were talking about. So all the places that we wanted to go to were open. They were just open in different manners that weren't convenient to us.
Yeah.
That was a challenging part for us.
It was. When Guyang and I go to Vegas, we really enjoy watching the shows. It's one of our things that we usually do. We like to eat at the buffets. We go to our favorite places to get our treats and food, snacks, all that business. And then we go watch the shows. But most of the shows were not available. All the big shows were all closed and canceled. Some of them won't be returning until 2021. Even some of the little shows. So you know how like when you're walking around in certain little parts of the hotel, casino, shops, they have little shows, side shows going on. Those were closed, unavailable. So that was kind of tough. It was more quiet than what we're used to for our Vegas trip.
I mean, we enjoyed it. We enjoyed that there were less people there, but you can't have both, I guess.
Yeah, the experience was a little bit different from what we're used to going to Vegas.
Yeah.
But it was fun. We really enjoyed it. We got to eat what we wanted to eat, kind of. And we got to stay at a new hotel that we never stayed at. So that was really nice. And I hope with the whole online check-in thing that they put that into permanent play at the casino, because I thought that was really convenient.
Yeah.
And what a nice way of doing it versus having to stand in line and wait 15-20 minutes with a whole bunch of people just to get checked in, versus doing it online, going in there, picking up your keys, and you're like, okay, cool, we're ready to rock and roll. So that was really nice.
And the nice thing was I remember we kind of did that whole online check-in thing at like 9 in the morning, and then around like 2 or 3 o'clock I got another email from them that says, hey, your room is ready, just go to the front and pick up your keys. So that was really nice. But we got this at the Coke store. It's Coca-Cola flavored Tic Tac. So the lady told us, don't be surprised if it doesn't taste like mint, which I was like, well, I mean, I don't really expect it to taste like mint. I expect it to taste like Coke. So we're really excited to try this. We got a couple of these. We got it for friends and family in mind, and then we're going to do a taste test.
Okay, cool. Let's try it out. Coca-Cola, if you want to sponsor us, I would not say no. Tic Tac, if you want to sponsor us, we definitely would not say no. Let's see here. It's limited edition here.
I don't need that many. I just need one.
That's awkward. Well, sometimes you need more than one. And it's really cute because they have the little Coca-Cola on there. So let's see.
It tastes like Coke. At first I thought it tastes like the orange Tic Tac, but once you kind of keep getting the flavor out, it tastes like Coke. It's a really good Coke flavor.
Oh, wow. That's really good.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Yeah. I can see where you...
It's a little tangy at first.
Yeah. But it almost mimics that Coca-Cola carbonation type
And then
thing.
once you keep getting the flavor out, it tastes like Coca-Cola.
Yeah. Cool. Mm-hmm. That's so strange.
It's good.
Sponsor us.
It's good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah? Damn it. We should have bought 10 more.
We should have bought the big one that you originally grabbed.
Well, we weren't too sure.
We should have grabbed the little one and tried it. We liked it. We should have gone back and got the big ones.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
Oh, there's that little mintiness that I got now.
Yeah, you get the minty aftertaste at the end. So...
if you bite into it.
Oh, yeah, that is true.
If you don't bite into it, you don't get the mintiness.
Let me try that again. Because I bit into all of mine.
I know.
I have no shame. I bite. Yeah, you're right. When you're just kind of like holding it in your mouth, it has kind of like the same coating flavor as a regular Tic Tac, but that moment you bite down,
You get a tiny bit of mintiness to it.
It almost makes you think about the carbonation in Coke. These are really good.
Mm-hmm.
They're very addicting.
You want more?
No, I shouldn't.
Okay. You want more?
No, I shouldn't.
Okay.
No, that was really good. That was pleasant. What a pleasant surprise.
This is our brief introduction to our future mukbangs.
We're doing mukbangs?
Yeah. I'm sure your family will enjoy our mukbangs.
My aunt already told me that my face is fat and it looks like it's retaining water.
Yeah, but we send them all these snacks, so now we have to review it for them too.
That's true. My mom did tell me that my face looks round, like a ball.
It's okay, I still like it.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome. Are we done?
I think so.
You want to try the voice activation this time? Because, in the previous video, they could tell that you struggle a little bit with it. You want to show them that you can actually do it?
Thank you for all of you have subscribed to us and for smashing the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Hit the notification ring-a-ding-ding. And thank you for joining us. GoPro, stop recording.
I think I need bifocals. I can't see.
Your eye doctor sucks.
I need a new eye doctor, guys. Celine, will you be my eye doctor?
Take her. Take her. She's all yours.